Hey, good Friday morning, everybody. Meteorologist Greg Majewski back with you here in the North Georgia Majestic Weather Studios with the Weather Report, the North Georgia edition, exclusively for you Facebook subscribers and YouTube members here on your April the 10th, 2026. It also happens to be Free Sampler Friday, so for those who are not subscribers on Facebook or members on YouTube, it's your opportunity to perhaps join our weather family here and get this weekday daily report in your feed so you can stay up on the latest weather developments and stay ahead of the curve. All right, anyway, let's go ahead and start off with our live look this morning as we typically do. We look at the conditions across North Georgia. It is beautiful. It is sunny. It is pretty cold out there. We had pretty great or exceptional radiational cooling last night. That's where the air was very dry and we gave up all that heat and it really bottomed out. My house here bottomed out at, 37.6 degrees, really chilly. And you know what, folks? That might be the coldest temperatures we see until the fall, maybe. Okay, it is very likely that we're heading to this very warm pattern, and with it's starting to get later and later into spring, this could be the coolest morning we see until we get into the fall. Let's go and take a live look at some of the conditions around North Georgia. Let's go up to Blairsville this morning. As you can see, folks are out and about there across the square. Sun's starting to come up there as well. Check out Brasstown Ball. They're currently checking in at 37 degrees there under clear skies. Very pretty view there across North Georgia for this morning. How about down toward Lake Lanier? Lake Lanier. All right, there's Lake Lanier looking great as well. Wind's pretty calm out there. Just a little gentle breeze there across the lake, looking very good. And let's head on down to Helen, Georgia. I always love this aerial shot of the town. 47 degrees there as the sun's starting to come up over the hills. Athens, Georgia, not a cloud to be seen there over the UGA campus, looking very good. Hiawassee. Let's go up to Hiawassee, Lake Chattooga. All right, looking great up there. Look at all that blue sky. And this is the conditions you're going to see all weekend, folks. So I hope you get out and enjoy some very nice weather. Dalton, Georgia, also looking at abundant sunshine there as well. That camera's always a little slow to load up. It's on YouTube. There it goes. And it looks like they got a few clouds up that way, but generally looking very good here across our area. Let's look at the big picture. Let's look at the weather map here. The weather story here continues to be dominated by this big old air of high pressure here across the southeast. All this stuff out here in the plains, it is not coming toward us, folks. We're going to continue to see a storm track where everything kind of tracks through Texas, through the south central U.S. and into the Midwest. Our area down here is going to stay very bad. I saw a graphic saying that Indiana was finally completely out of drought. Well, our drought conditions down here are getting worse by the second, and 50% of the state right now is under level 3 or above levels as far as drought is concerned. Actually, both of them is like 85%, but 50% is level 3. So it is very, very bad here across our area, and it's only going to get worse. It really is because of the warm weather that's going to be coming at us here. Satellite picture, boy, looks nice. I got a lot of clear skies here across our area, and temperatures are going to be warmer today. They're going to be warmer still for tomorrow, and if you think it's warmer for the weekend, wait till next week. We're talking summertime heat here, folks. Probably going to be challenging some record highs potentially going in toward Wednesday and Thursday of next week. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about our forecast. Let's get into the model data here. And as we take a look at that, let me get that up. Here we go. Again, we've got that 1031 high. Look at that, sitting right there across North Georgia. It is going to be a warmer day today after a cool start. So we're talking about temperatures warming by some 40 degrees in some instances. That's a lot. It's almost like a desert change there. And nothing to show you through the weekend. You got any plans for the weekend? You want to go out there and tune up that boat? Good weekend to get on the boat, on the lakes, that's for sure, anywhere around North Georgia. But we got nothing coming at us, just warmer weather all weekend long and into next week. So our forecast highs today are going to be into the 70s, well into the 70s for this afternoon. Tomorrow morning will not be as cool. Mostly in the 50s here for tomorrow morning. We'll probably have a few 40s here and there, but mostly in the 50s. And then check out the afternoon highs here on your Saturday afternoon. Yeah, we're punching well into the 80s, few upper 70s up in the mountains, but a very warm day ahead, and it's going to get even warmer. It's just blows my mind seeing what I'm seeing on the model data here. Now, again, we're still looking at a jet stream where everything is kind of active out to the west and in the plains. That's what they're going to see. Is you get some energy here coming off the west coast, the middle of the country. We'll probably see some active severe weather with this as this thing kind of tracks on out. Again, you got ridging out ahead of this. This is high pressure ridging here out ahead of this thing. So we're protecting the storm tracks going like this. So that's where the thunderstorms and severe weather are going to be. And we stay protected. So we got nothing coming over us here. Again, going right around us. There's a weak system trying to come on through here, going through Thursday and Friday next week. But I'm not seeing any real precipitation with that. And then, again, you see the ridging here in the Gulf. Kind of coming in out of the south. And then there shows at the end of this a pattern change. It wasn't there yesterday. At the end of this run, it develops this trough here, boom, right across the east. This would bring a cool down here toward the end of this, toward Thursday and Friday the 24th, if that was to hold true. Obviously, this is a long-range model. It was not in yesterday's run, so we'll see if it's still there tomorrow. But the overall theme is dry weather here. And, boy, you can really see the high pressure on this. This is a height anomaly map here. And, boy, you can see this thing really take shape here across our area. Look at this thing. I mean, just big old heat dome here going into next week. Here's troughiness and weakness out on the West Coast. But this thing's not going anywhere, folks. It's sitting there all next week. It's camped out there. And as it sits there, it's just going to continue to cause sinking air, heating air, and it's just going to be very warm all next week. And then as we get toward the end of this, only with the pattern change, it just sits there. I mean, it's not going there. This is 10 days out, still sitting there. So very warm weather expected. And then it starts to shift to the west. Only there about day 12, it starts to shift back to the west, and then there's that weakness coming there across the east a little bit where it comes on down. Okay, so, but for the next 10 days, that big heat dome looks like it is in place. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure if I'm buying this trough just yet coming here across the eastern third, because it just wasn't there in yesterday's run. So we'll see if it shows up again in the future. But right now, the big story is going to be that big heat dome, because that's been in the advertisement cards here for a while. So the Gulf is going to continue to be closed for business. You see the moisture flow here coming across the plains. We're kind of not really much to deal with here. Now, overnight lows are going to come up. The dew points are going to come up as we warm up. But, I mean, look at this. Even going Wednesday next week, it's still low dew points, okay? So that tells you not a lot of moisture. We're going to warm up. But, again, as we go through time, maybe get a little more green here as we head toward the 21st. That might bring some rains here beyond the 10-day window here a little bit. Then they got another front coming down. There's that front. Remember, you got that cool shot coming down there on the tail end of this run. So there's that front right there coming on through. So the green is our moisture. The brown, of course, is our drier air. All right, so let's watch this. This is taking place from the NAM going forward on the European model. And going on out for the next week, a lot of nothing. So if I go all the way out here to this is 7 days. This is week to week. You show basically the next 7 days, absolutely nothing again. Every day we've been doing that this week. We're at 7 day nothing, 7 day nothing, 7 day nothing. Everything's been shifting to the right every day. And it isn't until we get to, there it is right there, the 20th, day 11, 12, that maybe we get some rain in here a little bit. And then there's some more coming back here on the 23rd. But and then there's a cool down. There's the 540 line. We cool down going in toward the 24th. But that's about it. I mean, that's really, really something to see. And then here's your 7-day rainfall total. No rain. Nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing here for the next week. We got high pressure just in control, and nothing going to be there, and that's going to hold true. Going out to day 10. Look at this. We're going out to day 10. 10 days. Nothing. Okay, so only beyond the 10-day do we get a little something, and even then that's not a lot. We're talking maybe quarter inch, and then there at the end coming into South Georgia, but a whole lot of nothing out there. Now, we got to talk about the temperatures. We got to talk about these because these are really going to be a big deal for next week. So let's take this up to Saturday afternoon. We already did Saturday. Let's do Sunday's highs. So there's Sundays, 85, 83, 84, 85, a lot of mid-80s in here on Sunday. Going into your Monday, staying in the 80s. Tuesday, oh boy, we're really warming up. Look at 90s, 87, 83, 85, 85. I see 90 over near Augusta going into your Tuesday. How about Wednesday? Wednesday, look at this, 90. 90 showing up in Gainesville, 81, 87, 87, 88. Look at all these 90s in here. 92, low 90s in here next Wednesday. So I'll be tracking down those record highs for Wednesday. I think we might be challenging a few of those. And then still, this goes into next Thursday, well into the 80s for next week. And finally, next Friday, still holding well into the 80s for a lot. Look, here's all these 90s up in here. 80s, 88 again. everything looking very warm for next week. So get ready to get those ACs cranking. If you haven't done your HVAC service yet, check out those filters. Make sure they're good to go. If you haven't been using your air conditioning yet, you're probably going to be using it next week. So get ready for that as that comes. So as I just showed you, you know what the climate outlooks here is going to be. So let's look at that. Yeah, you know what that's going to look like. Very much well above normal. Again, this is going from the 15th to the 19th. The 6 to 10 day outlook is looking very warm. And, of course, that continues straight in here from the 17th to the 23rd. We got a big old heat dome, and it's going to be camping out. No rain during that period. Drought conditions are going to worsen. Dry weather here for the most part here for the 15th to the 19th, and it's still holding true there from the 17th to the 23rd. So drought will continue to be the problem, and I think the drought will continue to be a problem going into the summer. All right, so this is what I'm going to advise folks to do. If you haven't done if you're doing planting and stuff, make sure you plant plants that are resistant to the heat and to drought. Make sure they're very durable. They don't require a lot of water because they're not going to get it. And we're probably going to have water restrictions, so make sure you take care of that. And just start getting ready, because I know those water restrictions are going to start coming. And another thing I do want to point out here for today, by the way, is we do have a fire weather statement up for today, so no unnecessary burning. Again, low relative humidity. At least the winds aren't bad out there, but we got some very dry vegetation all across North Georgia, so no unnecessary burning, please, out there, because of the fire weather statement that's out from the National Weather Service. And as far as our forecast is concerned, this is what I've got going for us right now. I've got us in the upper 80s there in Gainesville for Wednesday and Thursday. We're probably going to see some 90s in the area. I wouldn't be surprised to see over near Rome, or maybe if we get a westerly wind, maybe a downslope heading toward the Carolina border, we get to some 90 temperatures. But we are getting this a bit early, getting some late June temperatures in the middle of April. So it is, get ready for that. I wish I had better news on the drought front, but I don't have it, as that big old high sitting in there. Yeah, that's going to be our friend here, and it's going to be camping out here for a little while. Again, I appreciate you guys checking us out, and if you would like to consider being a Facebook subscriber, please consider subscribing to the channel, as well as a YouTube member. You can do that as well. It's a good way to help support us during slower weather times, especially since we're trying to build this 24-hour weather channel. Right now, all energy is working on rebuilding the website. And why is that important? Because the website will be linked in with the weather app, so there'll be some additional forecasting mechanisms, our graphics and stuff and blogs and all that stuff will be attached to the weather app. So the weather app is out there. The Apple weather app is available at North Georgia Majestic Weather. Android, waiting on that. We had to do a resubmit because they didn't like one word on our short description. So hopefully we'll get an update from the vendor on that here real soon. Again, I appreciate you guys checking us out. Y'all be good, stay safe, have a great weekend, and we'll see you on next week's report on Monday. All right, you guys take it easy. Bye-bye.